The Carolina Panthers signed a guy this offseason that has quite an NFL story. He's been around a bunch of teams. He's getting another chance with the Carolina Panthers, and he's doing really good things in training camp. And it's really cool to see because the Carolina Panthers are a team full of guys that are in this prove it stage of their career. So we're going to break him down, why he's going to be a good part for the Carolina Panthers. If you're new to our channel, we make videos for teams that don't get the love nationally like they should. Carolina Panthers are one of those teams. We are Detroit Lions fans. Our main channel is Sports Talk Detroit, so we know all about the national media kind of ignoring you. And on top of that, the Carolina Panthers are going to be a surprise team in the NFL. I mean, come on. They finished last year, pretty good team, had some ups, downs, mostly downs at the end of it all. But they got the quarterback, they got the coach, they've got some veteran players, really smart signing. So this guy that I'm talking about is Gary Jennings, wide receiver. Now, the Carolina Panthers are in really good shape at wide receiver despite losing DJ Moore in a trade with the Bears. But that's okay. They've got a lot of good wide receivers, but they want to look at this depth piece, and Jennings is really shining. And I'll get to his story in just a second. It's incredible that he's even here and doing the things that he's doing. But he's been with a second string unit, but good catches are good catches in any context. Carolina has a ton of wide receivers, but there's one or two places remaining. So it would be worth the Panthers getting plenty of targets in Jennings during the preseason and seeing how he fares. So if you're a Carolina Panthers fan, pay attention to Jennings in preseason games. It's going to be interesting to see how he does. Jennings deserves a bit of luck, but there's no room for sentiment where the Panthers are concerned these days, making his situation precarious despite performing far better than anybody anticipated. So he's doing really well in training camp, in there consistently with the second team, making a lot of good plays. He's been consistent. But here's the thing about Jennings that is kind of remarkable. Just listen to his story, and this is what we have to remember about the NFL. Everybody sees the star players, the Mahomes, Josh Allen, but there's a lot of these fringe, bottom of the roster guys that, man, if they could just catch a break and really shine for your team. This is what makes your team special, is when you've got these guys, bottom of the roster, nobody knows about, nobody talks about in the national media, that could really come up big for you, make some plays, especially if you get some injuries at the wide receiver position. So listen to this. He is drafted in the 4th round by the Seattle Seahawks. A couple weeks into the season, he gets cut. Immediately, he gets picked up by the Miami Dolphins that same season. A couple weeks later, he goes on IR and then waived by the Dolphins the next year. He gets picked up by the Baltimore Ravens. A couple weeks into the season, gets released. Then he goes to the Buffalo Bills immediately after. So teams just keep picking him up. So it's like he's right on the fringe, and guys, and other teams need wide receivers or whatever. So Gary Jennings goes to the Buffalo Bills. Then the next season, Indianapolis Colts, but he goes back on IR. Then the next season goes to the LA Raiders. Then the next season in 2022 goes to the Kansas City Chiefs, was on pace to be playing for the Chiefs, big season for the Chiefs, but goes on IR and is waived August 15th, a couple days before final cuts in 2022. Then this spring, he gets healthy and is actually drafted by the St. Louis Battlehawks of the XFL. Plays with them, 11 catches, 150 yards, 3 touchdowns, like productive, makes things happen. And by the way, he went to West Virginia. Very good receiver there, 4'4", 40, 6'1", 216 pounds, 170 receptions, 17 touchdowns at West Virginia. And then back to present day, he gets picked up by the Carolina Panthers this offseason. And so he's been all over the place. I think I counted, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 teams that he's been on since he's been in the league for about 4 years. And so this is a guy to keep your eye on. Jennings, and again, we've talked about the Carolina Panthers. They've got the coach, they've got the quarterback, running back, offensive line, receivers. They've got veteran guys that they signed. DJ Chark, again, being a Lions fan, we watched him. Really good player, Adam Thielen. So they've got the veteran guys. They've got young guys. They've got defense is really just strong. Last year it was strong. They've got good defensive linemen, secondary looks good, linebackers look, I mean, really everything looks good. And why I say it looks good is because remember you're the NFC South that is just question mark. I mean, that's a huge question mark. Then the NFC in general is who knows, right? Lions are a team that's supposed to be good. That almost doesn't seem right, does it? But it's like, yeah, Lions. So you've got the Philadelphia Eagles. So it's just kind of wide open for the Carolina Panthers if they want it. I mean, and so, but what do you do? And the Lions, we've just seen this rebuild. How do you go from okay, new regime, new everything? What really takes you and propels you? It's guys like Jennings, who comes out of nowhere, kind of a fringe guy that really steps up. You need about 4 or 5 of those guys that people have never heard of, unknowns, rookies, newcomers that take your team to that next level. We all know about the new quarterback. We all know about the veteran receivers. Like I mentioned, there's a lot of pieces, the known, but what about the unknown that can rise your team up just a couple of wins, take you from winning 7 games to 9 games? Now you're in the wild card, or take you from 8 to 10 wins, and now you win the division, have a home playoff game, win a couple. I mean, it's just that is the difference in a lot of ways when it comes to NFL football. Is there's going to be injuries, there's going to be things that happen. Unfortunately for Jennings, he's been the one that's been injured. But if someone gets injured ahead of him, then he gets the opportunity to play. What will Jennings do with it? So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Again, if you're new to our channel, we make videos about and for teams that don't get the love nationally. It's fun to look in at other teams. Being Detroit Lions fans, we're really excited about our team, but also we've got a firsthand look at a blueprint to rebuilding or changing regimes. And so the Carolina Panthers did what you have to do, and that is get a professional coach, right? You saw it in Jacksonville. They were doing the Urban Meyer thing, and then they go get a real coach, real NFL coach. Difference overnight. Same thing with Carolina. It's not that the old coach was bad or anything, but he kind of was. Like Matt Rule was, it's like it doesn't work. I don't know, the college thing. It's like you need professional. That's what Dan Campbell does. Comes into Detroit, treats these guys super professional. There's no rules. There's no. It's just like we're pros. Let's get this done. Let's start going. And so the coach is there. You got the quarterback. The other pieces you can start messing with, but you've got to get your core together. And so just for the Carolina Panthers, their core happens to be quarterback, happens to be some of these like veteran guys. So they've got a mix, a kind of a hybrid of we're going to be young and start drafting well, and we gotta find guys like Jennings that have just been on the fringe of NFL rosters. Can he step up and make something happen? So let me know your thoughts in the comments on this one, and make sure you subscribe, and we'll see all of you on the next one.